got any predictions right so far?
We'll have to run back. Welcome to Full Court Press. This is where we ask the pressing questions going around the NBA. I'm joined by Charlie and Fatmir, and today we're talking trades. Some big moves have happened in the past week in the NBA, and let's dive right into it. Wasting no time, Damian Lillard to the Bucks. Fatmir predicted this months ahead of time.
But the other one would be Milwaukee because
God.
Dame and Giannis.
What do you have to say?
I'm him. Never doubt that.
His legacy can never be on the line because he's him.
Exactly.
Alright, so the Bucks' big three, Dame, Middleton, and Giannis, they're covering all three levels of scoring. Giannis in the paint, mid-range Middleton, and Dame's got the long ball. I honestly think that they might be the best team in the East, arguably the best team in the league.
For sure. That duo, that top two duos, probably it might be best in the league, dude. Dame and Giannis. I think they got it locked down, dude.
There's a little bit of competition with KD and Booker, but
there is.
It's definitely up there.
True. Honestly, this could be like, I don't want to say it's gonna be Kobe and Shaq because Kobe's much better than Dame. And I'd say that Shaq was still more dominant than Giannis, but
it's modern day, dude.
Yeah, modern day, it's comparable to how good they can be if it all works out well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, finally the spacing is going to open up for the Bucks. With Jrue Holiday, I mean, he's a solid 3-point shooter, but he's nothing like Dame. Dame's going to spread the floor 30 feet out.
I believe Jrue Holiday shot a higher percentage from three last year than Dame.
That is true.
But when it came to the playoffs,
hadn't bring up the statistics, dude.
It's alright.
When it came to the playoffs, that thing tanked.
I mean,
he at least was in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
true.
True. Facts are facts, but Dame definitely allows the floor to be more open. It just gives Giannis more room to operate, Chris Middleton more room to operate. Spacing's a big thing, and I think overall it's just going to help them. I have the Bucks winning it all. I had a short from like 4 months ago. I'll probably link it somewhere.
Depending on what offseason moves they make, my favorite to win the championship next year is the Bucks.
But I was saying Bucks 2024 champions. This improves their odds. We might just have like a predicting thing going on this show. We've told you guys before that this is the place to be for NBA predictions. They may be bold sometimes, but for whatever reason it works out. So you better subscribe. But what do you guys think?
What I did notice from the trade is they kind of got rid of their guard depth. Their current backup point guard is Goran Dragic, which is really bad in 2023.
Respect the Dragon.
No, he's old.
He plays solid minutes, dude.
Not like
their former ones. Yeah,
I'll give you a solid 8 minutes.
Anyway, how many minutes is he going to be getting, Dame? I know Dame's injury history isn't anything to write home about, but he's going to be getting pretty heavy minutes.
I'd be worried about their guard position and then for shooting guard they have like Pat Connaughton and Malik Beasley. So it's a bit thin at the guard position. They can obviously fill that up, especially when the buyout market comes around. But that's kind of like their only concern in my opinion. Their offense is going to be great. Giannis is going to have a more consistent shooter around him, so they can't crowd the paint as much when he drives because they have to respect Dame out there. And then I've seen people complain about the defense that's going to take a drop off, but I mean, you have Brook Lopez, who was a DPOY candidate last year. You have a former DPOY candidate in Giannis. And
DPOY winner.
DPOY winner in Giannis. And Chris Middleton's still a solid defender. And, I mean, Pat Connaughton's not even that bad of a defender either.
That's true.
So
this should be good on defense, I think.
Yeah, and I believe their defense, even like before they got Jrue, it was still good. Like they'll be perfectly fine. They could do something like similar to how the Utah Jazz when they had Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, funnel it to Brook Lopez or Giannis, and like once you get into the paint, one of those two is probably gonna end up stopping you or making it really hard. So I really love this trade. I think that the Dame and Giannis duo is gonna be insanely nasty. Pick and roll. You're not Giannis coming down, oop from Dame, or Dame's just gonna pop out, and hit a three, like, you're not going to have fun playing against them.
Yeah, I mean, I want to wait until maybe like a few games into the season to get a feel before I put my solid predictions down. Right now, I've got the Bucks and Nuggets again, and I still got the Nuggets winning as of now. But this could definitely change. Like, this isn't my final prediction yet.
This is too early to predict.
Yeah,
predictions.
The season hasn't started yet.
I just got to see how things play out a little bit. Anyways, yeah, I mean the Bucks. I really like this team. The only concern I have is I'm not sure Chris Middleton has much left in the tank.
I don't know. He did really good this playoffs.
The playoffs, yeah, but I mean his injuries the last 2 seasons haven't been very well.
That's true. That's true.
They won't need him, I guess, necessarily as much to carry a load because of Dame. Like Jrue Holiday wasn't going to carry as much of an offensive load, but I don't know. He's kind of concerning. Other than that, I think the team is pretty much well-rounded. They don't have many flaws, so I think that's an absolute dub for Milwaukee.
And they really didn't even give up that much. They gave up Jrue Holiday, Grayson Allen, and then a first-round pick in, I believe, 2029. And that was kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say. This team's going to be top team in the East. They already were before. They were the number 1 seed. They were always top 3 within the past 5 years, and nothing's going to change about that. It's just now they know that it's championship or bust, to be honest. Dame isn't coming here for nothing, and Giannis has made it clear that he wants to win as well. So they're both hungry, but they're not the only team involved in this trade. The Suns and the Trailblazers are also involved. And Charlie, you have the trade pulled up. You want to tell us who else got moved around?
So, since the Suns are in contention, we'll talk about the Suns because the Blazers they made a good trade, but they're not going to be relevant. So the Suns in that deal got Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Pretty much that just really put some depth on the roster because they were kind of thin. They had their 3 big stars. Nurkic really, offensively is not a downgrade at all from Ayton. It's just defense pretty much. But I don't think they're really losing much there. I'm sure Ayton's going to be better in the future, but he didn't want to be there anyways. You don't want a guy that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And then adding Allen, Little, and Johnson, those are solid role player guys.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
I like the pick of Grayson Allen. He's an okay defender. He's a good shooter. Definitely helps. It'll help take off the pressure from Devin Booker, Beal, and KD. You already can't turn all your attention to one of them because there's gonna be the other 2. But now you have someone on the perimeter to take some shots. And with how thin spread their team kind of seemed, Grayson Allen's a great pickup. I like Nasir Little. He's shown he's a solid defender. The 3 ball it's coming around, so it's a solid pickup. Keon Johnson, I don't think he'll get too many minutes. He's kind of just an athletic guy, a little bit of defense. We'll see how he goes. He's still really young. I personally don't really like that they got Nurkic because Nurkic he's pretty washed at this point. If we're being blunt, the injury, you can see the injuries have gotten to him. He is pretty injury prone in general. He's really bad at defense. They're not really going to need him as much on offense either with the way their team's structured. So it's going to be to me, it's kind of a weird fit. But I mean, Ayton was also he's pretty similar to the way he plays as Ayton is. So I guess it's not that bad, but to me it just feels weird. And I think they lost Ayton, and did they lose anyone else besides Ayton?
I don't know if this Tumani Kamara came from the Suns, or I don't know where he came from, but
yeah, I don't know where he came from.
The G League.
He was in the trade.
So I guess they just lost Ayton, and that's not a bad return in general.
I think they had some picks in there too, but
Yeah.
I mean, picks aren't really relevant to them right now. So.
Yeah. So it's not honestly not that bad of a. I like what they got. I like what everyone got in this trade, honestly.
I'm actually a fan of Nurkic going to the Suns only because Ayton didn't want to be there anymore. He didn't care. Nurkic is definitely going to help in the pick and roll. He was Dame's he was running the pick and roll with Dame. I think he'll be great with Booker and KD on it. Plus, he now is on a team where he can actually contend for a championship. And he seemed to try even when the Trailblazers weren't doing anything. So the fact that he actually cares, I think, is a big deal. So overall, I'm a fan. I picked the Suns to go to the finals last year. Might have to do it again. We'll see. We're going to hold off on the West prediction for now. But yeah, I like this overall. We'll talk about the Blazers towards the end because the Blazers did get Jrue Holiday in this trade, but he was moved again. He was sent over to the Boston Celtics. And this was a power move by the Boston Celtics, in my opinion. They saw what the Bucks did. They were definitely worried once they saw Dame go to Milwaukee. They're like, bro, how are we going to beat this team now that they have Dame? They couldn't even beat the Heat with undrafted players. Jaylen Brown, still no left hand.
Heat beat the Bucks too, just saying.
Yeah, but Giannis got injured. It is what it is. But the Celtics, they picked up Porzingis in a trade, and now they picked up Jrue Holiday in a trade. They can have a starting lineup with 5 former All-Stars in Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh my god.
In my opinion, they might have the best starting 5 in basketball right now. And to me, they should really have no excuses to not win a championship at this point. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been there for 5 years or more, and they've always had championship aspirations. If this isn't the year that they get it, with some of their players getting older, I don't know when they will get it, to be honest.
It'll take a lot of time, which they're doing it now. We'll see how the preseason goes, but it's not going to be easy to mesh these players together.
Yeah, true.
Holiday, it really shouldn't be a problem for Holiday. He's a decent facilitator, and he's probably just going to completely stop worrying about scoring the ball.
Yeah.
So if he puts all his focus on defense, that'll be good for them. He's pretty much a better version of Marcus Smart. So,
Yep.
Porzingis, I like Porzingis. I've always thought he was a good player, injury prone, but he's actually a pretty good rim protector.
7-3.
Yeah, and he can stretch the floor and shoot threes. And then Horford is pretty old, but he's still a pretty good defender, and he's got a really high IQ, which is important around a team like this. But they lost Brogdon and Williams, who are both really good pieces on defense, and I think they carried the Celtic pride highly. I just feel like they wanted to rep that team well,
Yeah.
and they got sent off. So a lot of the chemistry is probably broken up. So we'll see how they can rebuild that.
I think that is a good point to bring up, how all their heart players, the people that love playing for the Celtics, they all got sent away. Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, Malcolm Brogdon. I'm not sure how much he really loved being there,
He
but
just played hard. That's
yeah,
what
he
more
cared
so what I
when he
read.
was on the court.
Yeah.
He showed that he wanted to win. So yeah, that's a big deal. I do think that Kristaps is somewhat the odd man out, just because Jrue Holiday fills in a role that they already had.
Yeah.
Kristaps is this new kind of piece that they've never really had before. So it'll be
See if they
interesting.
can utilize him.
Yeah.
Boston's a super team, simply put. They're gonna be insane to watch. There are no excuses this year. If you lose, even to the Bucks, honestly, you made all these moves for what?
True.
You have to capitalize on it. They really didn't give up that much. If I'm to get Porzingis and to get Jrue Holiday, they really haven't given up that much. Malcolm Brogdon and Rob Williams are both extremely injury prone. Malcolm Brogdon was dealing with something in his arm that the Celtics apparently thought was super concerning. They were trying to move him for the longest time during the offseason. And then Rob Williams has just been injury prone his whole career. He's an important piece, especially on the defensive end. But with how injury prone both of them are, and can you really rely on them in the long run when you could go and grab someone like Jrue Holiday, who hasn't really shown to be injury prone and can still hold up on the defensive end and the offensive end to replace Brogdon. So I honestly don't think they gave up pretty much anything to get Jrue Holiday. I don't think they gave up any picks either, did they?
They didn't own the rights to the picks.
Oh. Okay.
But they got rid of a 2024 from Golden State and a 2029
From
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty solid. Yeah, so they basically just gave up 2 injury-prone players that probably weren't. That one of them they wanted to move in Malcolm Brogdon, and the other could kind of just be replaced. So I think they got great value on this trade. The one thing that does concern me, once again, is same as Milwaukee's, the depth. Derek White is their sixth man, great sixth man to have. I love Derek White's game. He's really, really good. But they have the rest of their bench is like Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Wenyen Gabriel, and like Luke Cornett. I might be forgetting someone,
yeah.
but like their bench is really bad right now. So they got some work to do on that end. But no one can really compete with that starting five. But come playoff time, just in general, if injuries happen to this team, it might start to look kind of ugly.
That's true. I would say with the bench depth, though, it's pretty easy to like fill those spots. You can find talent all over the league. They lost to a team of undrafted players. I mean, Derek White is great. He was locking down Jimmy, but they got destroyed by Caleb Martin. So if the Heat can find some players, I'm sure that the Celtics can too. But that'll bring us to a team that is developing, and the Portland Trail Blazers. I honestly like the package that they got. If DeAndre Ayton does go back to dominating, as he says, I think him and Scoot and Anthony Simons are going to look nice in the pick and roll as well. As long as they actually set some solid screens and acts like he cares for once, that'd be great. They got a bunch of picks, some good quality players in Rob Williams. I don't know what Malcolm Brogdon's.
I think they're trying to trade him.
Yeah, I don't see them being in their future. I honestly don't see either of them being in their future.
They said they wanted to keep Rob.
Yeah, Rob will be good off the bench for defense.
Yeah,
for
especially
sure.
because he's, I think, like 25.
Yeah, and he's a young guy. I mean, we all knew that they're going into rebuild mode for the most part. I don't think that they're the worst team in the league. Like, I think a lot of people, like, the betting odds are going to say, like, once Dame was gone, that they're only going to win, like, 20-something games or something. It was really, like, low. But I think they got a pretty good package out of all of this. They're going to be set for the next 5 years. They got their stars, or not stars yet, but hopefully stars in Scoot Henderson and Anthony Simons, and then former All-Star DeAndre Ayton. Former All-Star?
Don't think so.
I don't think he was an All-Star.
Don't think so.
Potential to be an All-Star in DeAndre Ayton. High hopes.
So with this trade, keep in mind in the breakout video, I said Anthony Simons was due to break out once Dame leaves. Keep in mind what I said at the start of the video. I'm him. Don't doubt me. So when that happens, just remember, I'm him.
He's Wojmir for a reason. He was giving you guys the inside information before Woj had it himself.
But yes, Scoot Henderson in the pick and roll is going to look great with DeAndre Ayton because Scoot his athletic ability and his slashing ability is out of this world at this point. So he's going to provide that rim threat, and what we've seen with DeAndre Ayton with the Suns is he loves the mid-range. He's a great mid-range shooter, loves the little like floaters and the hooks. Floater demonstration for you guys.
Let's get that hook demonstration again.
No, let's give it a real one. But is gonna open up that mid-range area for Ayton, and it'll make it a lot easier for him to show off his talents. Ayton, from the press conferences and just media day in general, Ayton looks like he loves to be there. He's smiling, he's having fun. The videos they've released of him, like he has so much energy. It seems like Phoenix was sucking the life out of him, and now it's all back. So I'm excited to see what he does. I think he will have a much better season in Portland. I'm not sure if he'll be like all-star, but I think he'll actually look a lot better. They still have Jeremy Grant too. They might move him. His contract's pretty bad. Shaedon Sharpe, he looked very good at the end of the season when they're resting Anthony and Dame as well, so I'm excited to see what he does.
They could be one of the most athletic teams in the league.
Oh, that's true. Anthony Simons was in a dunk contest at one point. Scoot Henderson has insane bounce. Shaedon Sharpe, his chin was at the rim in a photo I saw.
And then Jeremy Grant has his bounce.
He has bounced
too.
too. Yeah, Shaden Sharp said he would jump over the backboard, and people have to believe him on that.
Mhm.
So that bounce is crazy. I think they're going to be an extremely fun team. I'm excited to see Anthony Simons break out, and I'm excited to see how the dynamic of him and Scoot work together compared to how it was with him and Dame. So they might not be good this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're better than some people think.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good trade for the Blazers. That's what I kind of wanted to ask you guys. Like, out of all the 4 teams, I would say nobody really lost. Like, I think
Yeah,
everybody
for sure.
won, but who do you guys think like had the highest grade? Who won the most?
Who won the most? I would have to say Milwaukee, just because I think that
It's
literally
close.
puts
It is
them
close.
like, yeah, you're championship caliber, almost expected.
I think it's super close between them and the Celtics, and
Yeah.
honestly, like the Blazers pulled off a great trade too. It's
Yeah.
just they're not in contention right now.
Yeah.
And I'd say the Suns probably finished last.
Oh,
Yeah, I would agree with
But
that.
it was
'cause
still a good trade for them too. But I don't know. I think the nod I would give to the Bucks simply because they have championship experience and they just brought in an all 75 player.
Yeah.
So like I think they're gonna be locked in. Dude.
Yeah.
I want to give it to the Blazers just because they're set up so well for the future.
True.
I
Yeah,
just
that's
I,
fair, that's
I
fair.
love what they're doing right now. If I had to give a ranking, I'd probably go Blazers, Bucks, Celtics, and then Suns.
I agree with both of you. I was literally gonna say the Bucks would win in the short term because they got the best player. In the long term, Portland definitely blew everyone else out the
Yeah.
water. I'd also say that the Suns probably won the least, only because they already have 3 All-Stars. They weren't really looking to. They knew they weren't gonna get like
It was a
another
good trade
All-Star,
for them.
yeah.
That's what they had to do.
Yeah. It all worked out for everyone. This might be like a very rare moment where
Everybody
Yeah,
wins. The most
everybody
balanced
won.
trade of
Like
all
like
time,
the Tyrese Halliburton Sabonis trade.
yeah, that was pretty balanced too. But that'll wrap it up for the past week in the NBA and trades. It's been a crazy week. Speculation has been going off the charts with who's winning what. Everyone was like, "Oh, the Bucks are gonna win. The Bucks are gonna win." Drew Holiday to the Celtics. The Celtics are gonna win. This is gonna be the battle of the East.
2-team race.
2-team race. The Suns, the Suns are still contenders too.
Hey guys, James Harden's back in Philly, dude. Keep your eyes out.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes out.
Hey, there might be another trade incoming with James
Yeah,
Harden.
there
We'll
might
keep you
be.
guys updated though. This is the
Fat
place.
suit.
Oh, you can go ahead.
You
You
fat
see-
suit's coming, dude.
The fat suit.
Fat
The
suit's
fat
coming.
suit's coming for James Harden. But this is the place where you want to be. We predicted this was going to happen before Woj even said anything. We have called the 2023 NBA champions. We have called the MVP. We've called the Dame trade. And we're putting it out there, at least I am, that the Bucks are already winning in 2024. I'm putting the reputation on the line for you
I
guys.
don't have much there though.
So, have you got any predictions right so far?
We'll have to run back.
I got 2.
I got one.
We'll have to run back the tape on that one. I don't think it's been anything big like awards or anything. I think some small ones. Paolo's been looking like a pretty good prediction
Yeah,
so
it
far.
can't come out yet. It hasn't came through yet.
It's all right.
You can't
Like,
take
mine
that
are
back
long
yet.
term.
You have no reputation on the line right now.
I think I do have some reputation on the line.
Nope.
Anyways, this is the place where you want to be for all things basketball. Make sure to dunk on that like button. You want to be the most athletic team in the NBA like the Portland Trail Blazers are, you need to dunk on that like button, baby. And you need to subscribe to this channel because we keep it real, we keep y'all entertained, and we give you guys the news before it even happens because that's how much ball that we know. We're ahead of the game, and we're going to keep being ahead of the game. So subscribe, and remember to leave a comment about what you think about these trades. We want to know if you guys agree with what we're saying. Until next time, peace.
I'm him.